Well, good evening. It's Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker. And we're in Benson, Arizona at the Love's Truck Stop tonight. It is Saturday, the 18th of February, 2023 at approximately 20:50. That would be 8:50 p.m. Mountain Time. And of course, we're doing a straight razor shave. I was a little further behind in my 7-day roll-up that I've got, whereas last time I mentioned I had 1 or 2 more razors to go, and actually the one that I'm using tonight is actually number 4, and so then I've got 3 to follow, so I'm not as far along on that as I thought I was. All right. Well, let me show you what we're going to be using tonight, the equipment. We set the Fokker bite aside, having used it 3 times and want to get on with this roll-up that I'm using, but we're using the Robeson Sure Edge. It's approximately a 5/8 razor, American steel. What does that say? I can't read it because my eyes will not. Something New York. Anyway, that's where a lot of the old American steel razors come from, is New York. All right, so we'll set that there. Our brush this evening is the VP Leon Hardy number 2 that I put the golden nib knot into. So this is the one that fell apart. That VP Leon Hardy was good to replace for me. So that's, I won't go into that story again. Listen to the last video. I think I tell it better. And for our soap this evening, we're using Sterling Island Man. And just a delightful smell. It has a nice blue tint to the soap. I'm going to dip that in the water for the first time. Not very hot water, not very hot shower. But we're going to make I've got approximately just a little bit better, well, quite a bit better than 48 hours. 48, probably about 54 hours of whiskers on my face. And so let's get started. Let's get started. In fact, I was watching some guys on videos yesterday doing this kind of thing. I know Spider's kind of doing a little something on the shaving cadre with the Williams. Get a little pre-shave thing going on here. Not enough. Maybe I didn't do it longer. I'm just going to go to the brush. If you're watching me on YouTube, I say thank you for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button and go on over to the Shaving Cadre, www.theshavingcadre.com. Verbal note here for, I've forgotten it the last several times I've said that, but it might stick. You never know. It might stick. Yep. So if you listen to the last video, you know that I drove through 2 blizzards, had a breakdown on the truck where I lost a minimum of 5 to 6 hours of drive time, and sitting 4 hours waiting for the repair guy to come, another hour or so. By that time, all my drive time was expired. I'm not going to go rehash all the details. And then the next day I came up on the back end of an accident, severe accident, where we all sat for about 6 hours. Where we all sat on the highway. And anyway, I made it, I'm leading up to delivery is what I'm leading up to, but I've rehashed all those details before about the incidences and the time that I lost. And nonetheless, that night before delivery, I ended up, not the night before, but the previous night, I ended up at Barstow at the Loves there, then made my way on to the next day to 6.5 hours or so on up to Lodi to the Loves there. And it was about an hour and 10 minutes to delivery Monday morning. And I made it fine. I made it fine, which only reinforced for me in my mind that all my route planning rules that I, profess work. I was able to lose 11, 12 clock driving hours, on duty hours, and still make it to my delivery on time, and make it to that Love's truck stop at Lodi the afternoon before, and had a wonderful, relaxing shave. Boy, I tell you, I needed that afternoon off to do my stuff. I had 3 days of growth. I felt haggard, I felt bewildered, but I still have a couple of interesting stories. They're not interesting, but maybe they are, I don't know, but just part of life on the road, that dealing with people doing things right. I'm going to talk about the purpose of the bills of lading. Bills of lading are important. They're legal documents. And it gives a description of, for a guy like me, the chemical on board, or for a dry van, somebody pulling stuff for Walmart or Best Buy. A bill of lading could be, multiple pages, 10, 15, 20, 30 pages based upon all the cargo that he has. Well, for me, I'm just pulling one cargo. So my bills of lading are anywhere from 1 to 3 pages usually. And then another bill of what's called a certificate of analysis, which is a chemical analysis, precise chemical analysis of what the chemical is. And that's, after all, that's what the receiving company, that's what they're buying, is that precise chemical, and therefore you have to have a precise certificate of analysis that what you're carrying matches what they ordered and what they want. Okay. But essential elements, well, some of the essential elements that a bill of lading must possess is the name and address of the receiver. Like, yeah, of course. And part of the consequence of that is if I get stopped en route and get inspected by DOT on the road at a weigh station, let's say, first thing they're going to ask me for is my bill of lading. And so every element, the shipper, the receiver, the carrier, all have to be legally and properly identified, along with the chemical. And if it's a hazmat chemical, it has to have an identifier number. It's called a UN number. And that's all perfectly normal. Well, sometimes Now I had an alarm go off and kick and stop the recording. So Robeson Sure Edge, here we go. So we're talking about bills of lading. This has got a Shapton glass. Edge on it. And for my purposes, now that I've got a razor that's been honed on a convex hone, unless otherwise stated, all my razors will be assumed to be flat stone, unless I specifically say. Otherwise. But I've only got the one. I've only got the one. So a bill of lading has to have all that proper and legal stuff on it. But sometimes here's what happens. A plant, maybe in California, needs a certain product. And the only people that carry it at the time they need it in Texas, but it's one that is not sanctioned by the one in California for whatever reason. And yes, that kind of stuff happens all the time. Oh, that just feels fantastic. And so arrangements are made where a third party will purchase the product from the verboten manufacturer. It's their product. They've got it loaded in a tanker, and they sell it then to the receiving company under their name, under the third party's name. And I've heard this language used at other companies. I know we use it all the time. It's called a blind shipment. The receiving company is blind to the manufacturer. All they know about is us, or the third party company who bought it from the verboten company. And just in case, verboten means, it's a German word meaning forbidden. So the third party company has to prepare a bill of lading. They're not only the designated manufacturer, but they're also the designated shipper, of course. And the receiving company is not to know that the manufacturing company is involved in the shipment in any form or fashion. In fact, oftentimes two sets of paperwork will be prepared, and one set will say, not for consignee or not for receiver. Oh, all right. That's where I'm starting from. That's the foundation. That's the background. Now, I've done enough of these that I know what the paperwork's supposed to look like. I just have not. This is only the second time I've been up to that place in Benicia. And usually what happens is that they give you the paperwork and they say, because everything's moving so quickly, they'll say, we'll send you the new bill of lading en route. Oh, okay. That's fine. And so I only had the bill of lading that was prepared by the forbidden company, the manufacturing. Of course, we go over there, get it loaded. They're required to give us a bill of lading so that we can be legally on the road. And my dispatcher, when I picked up the paperwork on Sunday night, he said, I'll send you the new bill of lading on the road. And I said, I'll call you Tuesday to follow up. Of course, it didn't come on Monday. No surprises there. And when they send stuff to me, they send it to my email address on my cell phone in PDF format. I get it printed out at a truck stop, add it to the rest of the paperwork, and I'm good. And so I called on Tuesday, and my regular dispatcher wasn't there. Somebody was filling in, so I had to explain the story, and they're new guys, so they don't understand the concept of blind shipment. And they said, oh, well, we got to go talk to so-and-so. I said, all right, forget about it. And never heard back. And my original or my regular dispatcher came back on Thursday. Well, yeah, this was a Friday delivery, wasn't it? What happened was, I'm trying to think, I'm a little fuzzy on my memory here. I think I called over there on Friday morning as I was driving to the delivery. And I said, look, I don't have the revised bill of lading yet. And my regular guy was there. And no, he wasn't. He didn't come in until yesterday. No, that's not right. He came in today. I had to tell him the story. But here's the upshot of it. I got a piece of paper while I'm sitting there in the staging area of the plant that I'm supposed to deliver to on my email. And what good does that do me? How do I get it to a person? I'm going to have to find out an email address, forward the email to them, and it's just a pain in the neck. But here's the other thing and this is the killer. This is the punchline. This is the killer right here. I got a 3-page document. At the top of page 1, it has the name of the original manufacturer, the forbidden company, in big bold print. Can't miss it. And then at the bottom of page 3, it says, do not tell the receiving company the name of the manufacturing original shipper. Well, I got it in blazing letters at the top. Why are you telling me at the bottom of page 3 not to tell them? Because if I hand them that document, which had the proper name and address of the receiver, it just made absolutely no sense. So, and I know enough. I'm not inexperienced or stupid, and I don't want to get my company in any kind of hot water. But the second, the bill of lading that I was given on Sunday night, that was with the original paperwork, was not proper because it didn't have the proper receiver's name. It did not have their address, and so if I had been stopped and inspected, let's just say in Flagstaff, Arizona, or that may not be the best, or let's just say the California border with the California DOT, if I'd been stopped and inspected in California and I handed them that document, he would say, well, what are you doing here? This says you're supposed to deliver to a warehouse in Baytown, Texas. What are you doing here? I had no legal authority to be driving my truck in California with that bill of lading. Now I could show them my work order, which says take this number of load, which that number did coincide to the bill of lading that I had, but it had the wrong address on it. But my work order did have the correct address on it, but it's not legal. It's just a work order to me. I guess I can tell you where I went. It's not that big a deal at this point. I went to the Valero Benicia refinery to deliver this load of acid that I had. But I gave them the one that didn't have the right address on it. And I said, are you sure that's going to be, the guy that I worked with from Valero while I was there, I said, you sure that's going to be all right? He said, I don't care as long as it's got the right product. But see, I gotta care because I'm the carrier. I'm the carrier's representative. And if I had been inspected, the DOT would have been perfectly within their right to refuse admittance to me into the state. That seems kind of extreme. What would have happened? They would say, go park over there and get your paperwork straight, then come back in. Okay, and then I would have called dispatch and blah, blah, blah. So when I left there, they turned me loose at about 10:30. It took 2.5 hours to unload the truck. Everything went without a hitch. And I was going to stop at Tehachapi, Love's truck stop last night, out in the middle of the desert. But I got over there and I felt like driving a little bit more, felt good. And so I drove on to Boron, which is about an hour further, about 45 minutes to the west of Barstow. There were not a lot of places open to park, but there were enough. When I got in there, I think there was about a half a dozen out of 100. That's a 6% chance of finding a place to park. That's the way I look at it. which is not exactly what I would call high percentage game. But I knew that was the risk I was going to run when I passed on an hour earlier from Tehachapi, and that's all right. And let me just say, you guys in California have got to do something about Highway 99 going from Bakersfield to Sacramento. That thing is just nonstop, bumper to bumper, wall to wall traffic. That's a low percentage game too. Now, I didn't say it earlier, maybe I did, the Shaving Cadre. Tomorrow night is one of their Zoom calls. And let me just, if for no other reason, go make an account at the Shaving Cadre. Participate in whatever level you want to. And, but be a part of the Zoom call. We talk about a lot of different kinds of things, but it's just a lot of fun being with fellas that are good-natured. They talk about serious stuff with regard to honing and razors, and not so serious stuff. Well, they're serious about it when they get to talking about bourbon and scotch and cigars, but yeah. Meeting these guys face to face, talking to them over the Zoom call is like developing a new family. Or, depending upon how you want to look at it, joining a lodge. Yeah, we're going to have a lodge meeting tonight. And it's a lot of fun. And typically, we have anywhere from 10 to 15. I think that's the most I've ever seen since I've been participating is 15 on there at any one given time. People come, people go. They typically last 2 to 3 hours, and you can come and go as you please during that time. But you got to sign up in advance, and you get a email in your inbox at the Shaving Cadre, and it gives you all the links and everything you need to get in very easily to a Zoom call. And I can't wait. Here lately, the last one and this one, I was like, I can't wait. and take a look at some of the channels from the fellows over there, particularly Handlebarber Dave and Major Rich and Nurse Dave. And Bill M, Cutthroat Journey, then Scuttle Soap and Spider Shaves, and I feel like I'm missing one, Lukey 3262. It feels great. It just feels great. Oh yeah, very nice, very nice, very nice. Feels good. Feels good the way it's supposed to feel. That's what I would say. Oh, that's perfect. That's baby butt smooth right there. I'm starting to slow down a little bit. It's getting kind of late, I'm sure. Fort Stockton is my destination for tomorrow night. All right, let's check the sideburns. Perfect. That's it for the face shave. We use the Robeson Sure Edge. Let me see if you can get those markings in there. Yeah. Okay. Robeson Sure Edge. Good job. Honed on the Shapton Glass 30,000 finish. Okay. Oh, here we go. Put it in its leather case, keep it protected. Get done here and go have some dinner. I'm not sure what I'm going to have. I'm thinking about cheating and going to the Subway here. I say cheating because my wife makes all my own food for me, and I use Love's points to buy the sandwiches and such snacks. She's not real crazy about that, and I don't really blame her because she puts a lot of work into making me food for the truck. But sometimes I'm just too tired to go through all of that process and procedure. When I get back to the truck, I just want to throw the covers back and jump into bed after I do my post-shave cleanup. And for the head shave tonight, I'm going to be using the Union razor. I'll show it to you here in just a second. You've seen it before. I've got two like this, and they're all honed up on an Arkansas stone. The white one, I got two white ones, and one is honed up on the translucent, and the other one's honed up on the true hard, and I never remember which one is which. That's just smooth and beautiful. I can feel it on my head as it glides through the lather. felt great. And some of you might not be familiar with the Union razors. It's just a gold dollar knockoff. It's Chinese steel. It resembles the Union razors, especially it resembles the gold dollars, the shoulderless versions that they've come out with over the last few years. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, do the back of the neck and we'll be done. Throw the brush in the water and let it start soaking. Get all that soap out of there in a little bit. that's it. I'm gonna call it quits. Ooh. Well, I'm done with the head shave anyway. Done with the face shave, done with the head shave. Let's do a quick rinse and put on the alum. There's the Ozma alum block. Now, if you're using alum, I'm going to keep saying this here about make sure you rinse your hands and your face after touching, because you touch a razor, carbon steel, after touching that alum block, you're going to leave a stain and you're going to break your heart. On a $500 Boker, Count Engelbert II has got that stain on the back of it that mine now has. I didn't know. I did not know. And I wish I had. So, and I know a lot of people will use the alum to help stretch their skin. Don't. Find some other way. Just grab it and pull it. Or, as I say, rinse your hands, rinse your face after every use of alum before the razor ever touches your face, because it's, you know, we just love our razors, and that's why we come into this hobby. And so we buy these $200, $300, $400, $500 razors and more. If you get a custom razor, I don't know what custom razors go for. I know I was pricing a Maestro Livy some years ago, and it was, you know, well over $1,000. I'll just say that. And while I might spend $1,000 for a brush, I don't know if I could bring myself. Don't get me started on that. I only did that because it was the right place at the right time. And you know, that Fokker wasn't exactly cheap either. You can go on the websites that are selling them and see how much they're going for, but yeah, it was more than $200. It was more than, well, I'm not going to say more than that, but okay, that's it. I'm done. Thank you for joining me. If you're on YouTube, thank you. Go over to the Shaving Cadre. Go look at those other channels. And I hope you love straight razor shaving. I hope you love the thrill of holding an open blade, whether it's a vintage razor or a modern production straight razor, that you've got to hone up on a stone by hand to make it shave ready. And if you're not honing, think about getting into honing, because straight razors and honing go together, and you're not a true Jedi until you can do both well. All right, thanks. See you down the road.